Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Mike Papa Kilo Odyssey and Rumble channel. I gotta admit, these guys didn't really choose their name very well. I don't think anyone's going to eventually trust the brand Durkin Tactical. Even if it's your last name, dude, you gotta find a better name. I think I've ordered from these guys before, odds and ends, AR parts over the years, but I've never done an exclusive on them. And I've got my buddy's friend is into those night hog hunts. He's got access to thousands of acres here in Texas, and he uses 7.62x39 because it's cheap and it works. So I've never built an AR in 7.62x39 because you need an upper rail for, like, you know, night vision or thermals, and I am not using an AK for that. So this was $375 after shipping and after government theft. So pretty inexpensive. It's in tactical tan, so I know at a glance this is 7.62x39. So let's go ahead and unpackage all this stuff and see what I bought. Should be everything but the lower. Bold choice not putting a forward assist on a a gun that's probably going to eat steel case for the rest of its life, but Cerakote is even throughout. Got some grime there. Do have 2 nicks out of box, so arrow precision level of quality. It won't come off with my thumbnail. Just a couple of grease spots. Oh, we got some delamination on the hole here. Oh, actually, that's a high spot. There's a bubble in there too, which is to be expected with cheap stuff. But we'll see if it flakes off with assembly. I imagine it will. There's my flashlight. Zoom in a little bit more. Well, now, could you focus, please? This camera is a giant pile of crap. There we go. So definitely some not so greatness there. Pretty okay on that one. Overall, pretty good. Not as good as what I did when I was doing stuff, but pretty good. Normally I'd actually masking tape these off, because as you put Cerakote in there, especially if it gets too heavy, it's gonna flake off in there regardless. So I would actually mask those when I painted them. Got it throughout on the inside though. A couple spots where it's light, but that doesn't really matter. That is definitely going to wear off. There's nothing you can do about that because anodized wears off because, you know, steel rubbing against aluminum. That's inevitable. It just occurred to me that I don't have a bench vise, so tightening up this barrel nut is going to be a very interesting endeavor. I finally got a sharp knife. Fun fact. You guys have watched me struggle with knives forever over the years, and I finally bought a razor knife. There's our, what appears to be carbine length. Gas tube, possibly mid-length. That's a thick boy. Yeah, it's probably carbine length. 8 inches. 7.62 USA 1 in 10. There's that. VCI paper so it doesn't rust. Bore looks good. Feed ramps look good. Pretty okay so far. See how this handguard looks. Definitely not the lightest weight handguard out there, but at least I don't have to put on M-lock rails. That's pretty cool. Oh my goodness, look at all those fasteners. Holy balls. That is plenty. They even painted the fasteners. That's hilarious. Oh boy. Ain't got no time to take those out, Jesus. Just paint over them. Inside the handguard looks good. They even painted the barrel nut. That's hilarious. Yeah, they don't disassemble nothing. Came with an ASC magazine, so that's pretty cool. That is an actual 30. Yep. Some were 25s. They say the 25s run better. Let me take out these fasteners and show you guys what this tomfoolery is. Got some set screws as well. All of the retention on this handguard. So there's a set screw. That they painted the top of. And all of these fasteners. They've somehow got some Cerakote in there. That's not Loctite. Just barely painted the top of them. And the other side is slightly painted too. Is the barrel not going to come out? I gotta loosen these up. Oh yeah, I got the other set screw. Oh, there's a big old scratch. I don't know how I missed that. Big old fucking scratch. I don't believe this was labeled as a blem, but I'm gonna go check now, since that's just scratched to piss. So yeah, there's no way that could have been me, because the set screw doesn't scratch this thing at all. Big old piston. There's a nick right there. So it's gonna be a hunting gun. I really don't care. I'm just reporting out the quality. So I've got that scratch, and then there's a nick up here around that corner right there. But other than that, just this big old Mondo scratch. So, all right, you can come on now. There we go. There's the barrel nut. Like I said, they even painted it. Just didn't have a care in the world. That's funny. 7.62x39 FDE Quadzilla AR15 rifle build kit. Oh, I bought the magazine. Why does this shipping order have more money on it than what I had in the email? I was looking at that. It says I paid 420 bucks, which is still pretty good with a $30 blower from Anderson. You're in for a gun for 450 bucks. Which you can get a Radical for $400, but some people want to build their gun. So there's the lower parts kit. But the Radical after FFL transfer and shipping will be about $475, so this is $50 cheaper and you get to build it. A2 flash hider, low profile gas block, receiver extension tube, end plate, ATI stock, spring of a thing, lightweight buffer. I expect with a 7.62 to have a heavy buffer, but those are expensive. And then there's the castle nut. So there's all the stuff. They sent me a forward assist. Don't need that. So let's do the upper and see if we can tighten this barrel nut, shall we? So we need, there's a trigger, barrel nut, castle nut, flash hider. Yeah, tightening that flash hider is gonna be fun too. I don't have ratchet straps either, dang it. Imagine if you had ratchet straps, this would be easy. You just strap it to the table. But my ratchet straps are at work. Son of a bitch. I might have to go to work and get those and just finish this project tomorrow. Might have to bounce around a little bit. All right. Dust cover. Place that in there. The easiest way to get these C-clips in is to just not, because I don't think this one needs it. With the irregular upper, you think you need it. I think these billet ones, you don't need it. Yeah, see, if you put it in, the pin wouldn't sit flush. So this one you don't actually need it. That's cool. Got some extra C-clips. So the short leg will go on the left side, and the long leg, I twist it around, twist it into the receiver, and pin it against the dust cover like that. You can see the long leg sitting there. And my little leg slipped out, so we got to redo that. Dang it. Got to make sure that little leg stays pressed against the receiver. Otherwise it won't stay wound. There you go. Don't need the forward assist. So the barrel's gonna fit up with all this Cerakote inside the upper. Oh yeah, slap here and I'll get out. And then if I was going to tighten this up, I imagine this is a 33mm crow's foot. I'd put some red Loctite or some anti-seize on there. But I'm just gonna leave it like this until I go get my ratchet straps. And look at that high quality Cerakote. So that's just gonna stay like that. Set that to the side for now. Go grab one of my Poverty Pony lowers. And we'll build the lower out. Okay. Grab a shop towel here, so don't lose our teeny tiny parts. Put all of our set screws and shenanigans with our handguard, so don't lose those. Okay, lower part's good. All right, give myself a female roll pin punch and grab the roll pin for the bolt release, which is this little fella. Flip this bad boy over, grab my oiler. We used free gun oil in the last one, so I'll use some of my Lucas oil. Oh, that didn't work out too well. Oil that hole, oil that hole, oil the slot, filthy slot, and then grab our roll pin, make sure it goes through the bolt release, which it do. Grab the bolt release pin and spring. There it is. So here's the two springs that are most likely to get confused if you're not paying attention. The one on the bottom has a larger coil on the right side. That one's for the trigger, and I'll show you that right now. That increased diameter is so that it will sit in the disconnector recess right there. So this sits in like here. Got an insignia on the trigger. Weird. Get it in there, you slimy SOB. That hole looks a little bit smaller than what it should be. This trigger is definitely undersized in this recess department. This is supposed to slide in nice and easy. Oh boy. There we go. Gotta find something to poke this in with. Go in your home. There we go. Okay. So that's how that's supposed to sit. So then this spring goes in there, followed by this little fella. That's also on the ground now. It's got a smaller leg. That smaller leg goes into the springer thing. And then we can start the roll pin. Nope, not that one. There we go. With our 3-ounce ball peen. Possibly lighter, possibly 2-ounce. Once you got it started, put a little lubey boy on this, and we'll stick that in the hole. And I got long spider fingers, so I can hold it like this. Go to the male roll pin punch. This is just a center punch, but it works. And just feel for the hole. How about right there? Are you gonna work? Nope. Come on, buddy. There we go. There we go. Gingerly. Kind of exploded on me, this cheap roll pin. Finagle it into the hole. Somehow. There we go. That's good. Let's give it one more whack with the actual roll pin punch I should have been using. Nope. Still not very happy. There we go, now it's flush. Okay, that's installed. That's probably the most difficult operation, even for us seasoned noobs like myself. If you don't have that female roll pin punch, that is almost impossible. I've done it with just a male roll pin punch, do not recommend. All right, magazine release. Magazine release, spring, mag button. Give this a little shlooby-doob so it doesn't rub up against the receiver. Plop that through the hole. Put a little looby-doob on the shaft. Grab our spring of a thing. Stick the button all the way down in the hole. Make sure the textured side is out. And really jam it in there so it starts the thread. And really I should have done this first so that our bolt release isn't in the way, but hey, now you know. Because this takes 7 turns to be flush on the other side. And of course I went one too far. There we go. That's flush with the mag button now. We do the fire control group. Grab our spring thing for the trigger. We've already got the disco spring in there. Throw these ears over each side. bastard. The spring thing needs to be on the forward side, like that, on that side. And then the hammer, which I have not seen yet. There it is. See if I can do this the right way the first time. Probably not. Yep. So you want the spring to be oriented as such so that when you install it, it actually powers the spring. Look down in the hole, make sure that there is a little spring in there. It's right in here, and that's what retains it on the groove in the pin. Whereas the pin for this guy has a groove on the outside where the ear of this spring sits. So disconnector sits on top like that. Go ahead and install that into the lower. Grab our pin, line up the holes, stick it in there. Give her a tappy tap tap. So all I'm doing is lining up the hole in the disconnector, the hole in the trigger, make sure the trigger's powered. And since I'm here and we haven't installed this yet, I'm going to grab my stones. Do a little trigger job action. If you want to know how to do a trigger job, check out the palmetto build video. I'll be right back. Alright, trying the trigger after I stoned it a little bit. Did some cheech to it. Try and install this, see how the trigger is. I'll probably have to do it again, knowing these lower parts kits. Get in there. Definitely a stiff spring. Get in there. I'm trying to get stuck on the primary sear down there on the trigger. And then install our second pin. There we go. Put on our safety to try the trigger. That's still got creep in it. There's that creep. That's a lot of creep. Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of that. That initial creep is what makes these mil-spec triggers so gross. So I gotta take a lot more material off the hammer. But that's how you install it. Oh boy, this was a rough one. I had to take a lot of material off. I'm not comfortable taking any more off. However, got a pretty decent trigger here. Just the smallest amount of creep there, and then it breaks. So I almost got all that nasty creep out of it. Breaks about 5.5, 6 pounds, but it doesn't matter the weight as long as this breaks clean. Usually it can work with me. Yeah, it's right at 5.5 pounds. It's almost like it's a mil-spec trigger. But yeah, there's basically no creep left in it unless you're going really slow. So that's good. That's basically what the trigger job's for. Get rid of that nasty creep. Okay. So now I got the trigger housing. You can get the enlarged ones. I really don't care. Get our roll pin here. I don't think I have a female roll pin punch out that's big enough to do this. I'm just going to do this the redneck way. And finish it with a male roll pin punch. Do-do-do. Oh boy, I went through. Roll pin and punch was a little bit too small. Usually I wait for it to bottom out in the aluminum, but I didn't hear it. Almost there. There we go. All right, that is flush. Now we'll do this top takedown pin, which is very much necessary to have a punch for this. And go through here because you have to take one of these detents and springs, one of these and one of those, compress it in the top of this receiver here, and hold it in with a punch. They sell an assembly tool for this, but I don't use it. If that spring is proud, you can cut it, make it a little bit easier, and it helps to have a fingernail for this. I've lost 3 detents in my life, and I don't want to make it 4, even though I bought several extras. And the longer of the 2 takedown pins is the one we want, which is this one. And ta-da. Give it a little bit of lube, pop it open, make sure it's retained. That's a really easy pin. And then we'll do the safety. I already lubed it. It's the biggest of the detents and it's got a bit of a head on it. And then our grippy boy, looks like a $5 Chinesium grippy boy. Tactical tan. Ew, a flathead. And our little Nordic thrust washer here. Throw that down in the hole. Get that started. You'll need a long Allen head, long flat head. And of course the spring's bigger too. This one's different colored, so that helps. I'm going to get my gunsmithing kit with my extension and get that installed. Extension, flathead that's too small because I'm too lazy to find the one that's right size. Flatheads are stupid. This should be a Torx or at least an Allen. 1,000 threads later. Is this even seating? No, of course not. Start in the thread, you whore. This is great. This is absolutely fantastic. Love it when the shit doesn't work. Gotta get the right freaking size flathead. This is dumb. Flatheads are stupid. Click. When you round the flathead, that's how you know it's good. I really want to take the rest of the creep out of the trigger, but I've already taken so much material off. Okay. Rear takedown pin. Rear detent. Rear detent spring. Where's the buffer tube? There it is. Need the buffer tube, the end plate, and the castle nut. Then I gotta go find my castle nut wrench. So I have no idea where anything is, because I still haven't had time to organize my tools because I've been traveling for work. Not the best. Oh boy, that castle nut has seen better days and it's brand new. That is chowdery as all get out. Gross. And I just Loctite these because staking them is dumb. And never had a castle nut come loose. So, free red Loctite. Yes, please. Oh, no. That's not the right one. Pretty sure this came with some Loctite. There it is. Loctite on the thready boys. Should be pretty close, yep. So now we'll drop in our buffer pin and spring. Drop some lube on those. Compress those. Tighten it one more time. Oh, there goes our detent. You can see that sits there. Some of them have a recess in them, some of them don't. This one happens to have a recess. That little spring thing sits in that little recess. So we got to compress that, put our takedown pin back in, put the detent back in. Oh, of course. Stuck in between the wood. There we go. Nope, back in. Get out of there. Detent. Spring of a thing. Alright, compress that spring a little bit. Compress the plate, make sure the spring stays in. All part of the fun. This spring usually gets crushed if you're not paying attention. Just give her a little pokey poke. Right in there. There we go. Nope, fail. Compress it in, nope. Come on, you son of a bitch. There we go. Got you now. You stay in there, you little son of a bitch. There we go. Get some more Loctite. Where'd my Loctite go? Don't know where my proper wrench is, but this one will do. Clock this so that when you tighten it, it goes back to where it needs to go. And just give her all of the onions here. There you go. That rotated, you son of a bitch. Ow. Helps have a vise. Son of a bitch clocked on me. I'll try this again. Stay where you are, you son of a bitch. Doesn't really matter, but it pisses me off when the fucking buffer tube doesn't stay. Yeah, it's not gonna stay. So that fucker's just slightly cocked off to the one side, but it's not gonna make that big of a difference. Oh boy, that is a tight fucking fit. Holy shit balls. Not even the same tan color. Yeah. Okay. Keep that at MPK length. Yeah, it pisses me off that it's clocked that way, but sometimes you just can't win. Alright. Lube the tube. Grab our spring of a thing here. Throw that down. I said throw that down, there we go. Grab our buffer. Lube it thoroughly. Throw it down. You can see where the pin holds that in. For the buffer retention, just like so. If you want to take it out, all you gotta do is push that pin in, buffer comes springing out. Alright, lower's done. Safety works, take the safety out, kaboom! Alright, lower's done, we'll get the upper done on the morrow, but you guys will have to wait 2 seconds. I missed my vise. Why did it go on loosen again? I don't understand. So close, so close. Man, torque is hard. This method, shall we? What in the fuck is flexing here? That cheap vise was flexing. Okay, cool. Forgot I had this vise. Okay, hopefully 70 foot-pounds is enough. Turns out 50 would have been good enough, but hey, it's 7.62, so more power, I guess. So there's that. In the process of doing that, we have a nice gouge in the receiver, and you can see how well their Cerakote job is. I'm guessing this is probably just Duracoat, but hey, I don't care because it's a hunting gun. It's going to get beat up anyway. Undo my gumsmithing work here. And a lot of that was probably because these billet uppers are not meant for these, so it's just spinning in here. And it's probably scratched just from spinning in here, honestly, because it's that cheap of a finish. But again, not too terribly worried about it. I knew this was going to be a low quality finish when I bought it because it was cheap. I just wanted a very quick visual identifier between my 5.56 guns and this one. So there's that. Stroke of genius, if I can call it that. Glad I had that mini vise laying around. Okay, back to the struggle bus. So we need a gas block and a gas tube, my universal assembly tool, and a few brain cells. Brain cells pending, of course. Boop. All right. Get our gas block. Gas tube. This looks to be a carbine length. I think carbine lengths are like a foot long. Mid lengths are like 14 inches and rifle lengths are like 15. So there's 8. That's about 11, 12 maybe. I don't know. I just hope it's the type that works. Got 2 roll pins. That's cool. That's not blocked, so that's good. Let's see our through hole and our 90-degree hole right there. I want to make sure that goes in there nice and smooth. Grab our pin, grab a female roll pin punch here. That one actually fits. Grab some Radco lube, spray it in the hole. We're gonna need all the help we can get after what we just witnessed. Grab a hammer, move my light out of my way. Hopefully that's still lined up. And tippy tap this in. Wow, that was actually pretty easy to start. Are we lined up? Nope. Now we are. Take that off of there. Grab a male punch. Tippy tap that the rest of the way in. That went way too easy. The roll pin should be a little bit tighter fit than that, I think. Yeah, clear went to the other side. Hopefully that doesn't walk out, because that would be bad. Oh boy, that's really easy to drive in. That's scary. Okay, well, we'll just leave it right there. Blow through it. Make sure you got the hole on the right side. That's not the right size. We got 2 more roll pins in here. Holy balls. All of the roll pins. Thank you, Durkin. It's almost like they know their gas blocks don't come in the same size. So I send you a bunch of them. Roll pin. You got 4 whole roll pins there. Wow. I can't remember. It's been like a week and a half. All right, well, my batteries won't stop committing Sudoku, so that's cool. Got a 30 cal crush washer here, and a 30 cal A2 bird cage that looks like it's been sitting in a warehouse for 20 years. It's all white and oxidized and shit. And that's just the color we're gonna get, apparently. Look at all that schmoo. Very schmooey. It's not a very good color. It's all gray and shit. Lube our threads a little bit, give us a fighting chance of tightening this down. Hopefully this is a 3/4 inch wrench. Oh cool, I don't have to tighten it that much, that's good. I'm gonna do that with my bare hands. Oh boy. Of course, that barely fits. Keep it down. Almost got it. So close. Stay on there, you whore. Nope, what a piece of shit. God damn it. Get on there, you son of a bitch. That should be good. Nope. Just another Cheech, and she's good. You fucking cunt. There we go. Okay, that's tightened now. You can see it's centered. Center's on the top. That's cool. All right. That was fun. Grab our fasteners for the handguard. Baptize them in the red Loctite. Yes. Throw our handguard on. Now, if you want, you can throw something on here to make sure this is perfectly timed, but I really don't care. So I'm just going to throw these sons of bitches in here. Tighten them up. Loctite will ruin finishes, fun fact. So if you care about your finish, make sure you don't get red Loctite everywhere. Or blue Loctite. Blue Loctite does it too. Of course, this doesn't fit for shit. That's great. Set screw. Heave it up. Oh, nope. Not gonna rotate that anytime soon. Set screw number 1. Set screw number 2. All right, I think that's it. Bippity, boppity. I did find a takedown pin spring sitting on the table too, so they must have sent an extra one of those. Boy, that is the ugliest AR I've ever built. Sweet. So I bought some parts to fix another feller's gun. I figured I might as well try and find some more magazines. So I think I bought the ASC from Durkin's website. I got these from AR15 discounts. And this one I actually pulled out of a magazine box from the Tack Shack because I knew I was going to build one of these eventually. So this is a 30 round, the Duramag, the 28 round, and the ASC is a 30 round. So there you go. That is definitely not going to drop free. No, it's definitely a Pro Mag. Pro Mags never drop free. Duramag. And of course, for pig hunting, I'm going to try and find a cheap thermal or night vision optic. Definitely want to hunt those at night. That's when they're out. Duramag. Duramag drops free at least. And the ammunition storage components. Only the Duramag drops free, which is why I like them. Okay, well. There it is. The Blasphemy. 7.62 with 39 AR. Thanks for watching that struggle bus. Already got a witness mark. Oh boy, yeah, that's an ugly gun. Let's shoot the piss out of it.